organization or they have been working in a larger organization and have reached a position where they could follow one of this model. And what you are trying to identify from here is that where do you yourself belong, and are you too much into that particular track? And if you are, maybe you should be looking at other things also and try to improve your thinking. So it is interesting. Certainly, it is eye-opener in some regards. But quite often we get challenged that it is really not. We are not fortunate. All of us are not fortunate enough to be in a Steve Jobs designation. So quite often you might have one of this or combination of this one, but your peer whom you have to share, you have to take the opinion. Maybe he's your partner, maybe he's your colleague on the same level. So, and if he is in that either of his buckets where he's too much on that side, okay, you have too much conflicts going on in the organization, and that's where the business starts to hurt and all. So, do you guys ever look at that aspect and say that, and from an entrepreneur, yes, he is the driver, but for an organization to succeed, how do you take the modeling of this various different personas and throw in a factor of a peer/partner, and how would that evolve?
Okay, it's very good. I think when you apply this, there are two things. We call this the enlightened entrepreneur. So the traditional entrepreneur, yes, the other people in the team may be not inclined to share because that entrepreneur is maybe in the number one category, driving everything. Okay, so first transformation has to occur is really that person, and any transformation. I think you guys who work in consulting, if you do enterprise transformation, if it doesn't occur at the top, it isn't going to occur. So that is something we're definitely stuck with. And then you may end up, if someone on the team is suddenly awakened by this and sees that possibility for expansion, if they're not able to sell that to the entrepreneur, then the choice, just like the choice I had to make, and the choice that many other people have to make, you have to get out. Have you read the book Tribal Leadership? Tribal Leadership. Okay, I recommend that because, just very quickly, there are 5 levels of leadership in that book. Level 1 is life sucks. Okay, so that's life in the ghetto, drugs, gangs. Level 2 is my life sucks. So if you're down in that's a bad place to be. But people then fight their way and they get up to what's called level 3, which is I'm great, you're not. Now that's a danger one. I think the sense that people you're talking about, especially if that person is your boss, and you have a fear of trying to do this kind of expansion, odds are your boss is at that level 3 in tribal leadership, which is I'm great, you're not. And that's something that you will never be able to grow if you're under that kind of boss. That boss has either got to transform or you've got to move out. And you can't be that, because if you've fought for what you have, it's very easy to fall into that trap. I mean, we all can easily fall into that I'm great, you're not. Whether you have prestige associated with what you do, you've got to really go up to that 4th level, which is we're great, they're not. Okay? And the authors of that book added a 5th level when they finished the book. They said, wow, they found a few companies that are at the level 5, which is life is great. In other words, like let's say Wegmans, they're happy working there, and so what? If Whole Foods is also doing well, they're not out to kill Whole, like Microsoft is out to kill Sun, right? They're not out to, so we're great, they're not, is level 4. Life is great is level 5, and that's the way to be. So that's enlightened, or really the goal of enlightened entrepreneurship would be to take you to that level 5 of leadership. Did that help?
Yes.
Okay.
I
Right?
have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a question.
May I request if you stand up and then just your name, which year, and then you.
So my name is Samit, and I'm from IIMpressions batch of 2008. And I thought this was a really good presentation. And my question is, do you think this model or different like
perspective.
Yeah, like different perspectives. They work for different stages of a company. Like a company, when it's at its inception, might be more ready to change itself according to its customers' needs, or someone which is very mature is probably trying to create the right processes and get that working. So do you think there's a life cycle of a corporation that like some of these fall into?
Good, I'm glad you asked that question. You saw that one of the areas I'm focused on is the enterprise of the future. So I didn't mention a lot about that, but I think it'll get to your question. The enterprise of the future has as its design continuous innovation and learning. There's a continuous cycle of innovation and learning, right? And if you as an enterprise, whether it's startup, mid-size, mature, if that organization or entity is not innovating and learning at a rate of speed, at least as fast as the rate of change in the market, what's going to happen? You will fall behind, right? So you have to be innovating and learning as an enterprise, regardless of size, at least at the same rate to keep pace, and preferably in your niche area at a faster rate than the market is changing for you to stay ahead.